From One of One Production Studios, broadcasting from NYC, you are listening to Unexpected Success with your host, Joy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Unexpected Success with me, Joy. In the studio today, I am so honored to have Janai Jackson of Jackson Legal Group. Hi.
Hello.
And she's so fly.
Thank you.
I love it. So whenever I lose faith in the next generation, I meet people like you and I'm kind of like, we're going to be okay.
Aw, I'm flattered.
It's going to be so good. So,
thank you.
It's International Women's Week.
Yes.
And I really wanted to just highlight your life and just find out, like, what your path was, how you knew you would be an attorney. And,
yeah.
You know, you're from Brooklyn.
I am. Brooklyn.
So, Al from Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy.
No, okay. And so, obviously, for those of you who are familiar with Bed-Stuy, especially back in the days when you were growing up there,
right,
it wasn't necessarily as friendly as it is now.
No.
Right?
No.
Which is probably the reason why you have, like, your edge and you have your confidence, right? So all those things clearly work to your advantage. But I just want to talk more about your path and how you knew you could do it.
Right.
Because I'm sure you don't, like, all your friends are not lawyers.
No.
Right.
No. Not all of us.
Right, yeah. So you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So how were you as a child? You have like first of all, your parents.
Yeah. So growing up, I'm the oldest of 5.
Okay.
Grew up kind of, I would say, like partially in a single parent household because by the time I was 15, my mom was remarried. So,
okay,
you know, it was no longer a single parent household. But
right,
up until those like tender years, 14, 15, I was in a single parent household.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my siblings to look after.
And how much older are you than your siblings?
So between myself and so there's 2 girls, 2 boys.
Okay.
So there's me, and then I have a sister. We're 2 years apart. Me and my brother, we're 8 years apart. And I have another sister. We're 6 years apart. And believe it or not, my youngest brother's 8, so we're 20 years apart.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Your mom is dope.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like the mom, sister a little bit. So,
yeah.
So I'm almost everybody. Even my sister, who's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
I still got to be that.
You're the
big
more
sister.
mature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you always been like a mature child? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Like everything started moving like a little bit fast for me. So I've always been like a little bit like ahead of myself. I graduated high school at 16.
Oh, wow.
So I was in college by
Smarty
16.
Smarty pants. 2 year, was it 2 year SP? What was it back in the days? You were like able to finish junior high school in 2 years instead of 3. Did you skip?
No, I did 3 years of high school.
Oh, okay, okay.
But actually, my mom did it also. She graduated at 16, too.
Oh, wow.
So it was just like a thing. And we went to the same high school, James and Haddison.
Oh, you went to, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all public school.
Right, which I don't know if you can even do that anymore because the school system is so different.
It's so different. All of the larger schools, which were, the better schools, they're now like 5 schools in one.
Yeah.
So it's different. It's not the same.
I know. My high school's still around. I actually did my career day there.
Really?
Was it last year, D? I think it was last year, and it was just so stupid. I was a bad kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like I wasn't a terrible student, but it's not the ideal Townsend Harris attendee, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like giggling the fact that I was like doing career day. I was like and these kids are in the audience and they're like looking at their nails and they're like, who is this old broad talking to me? I'm like, yeah, I got out in 95. They were like, what?
So you don't look like it. You look great.
But they looked at me like, yo, why are we listening to this old broad?
No, seriously, you look great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, so my school's still around, but so many of the schools that were around back then are no longer.
Now split up.
So how did you like escape like girls trying to come at you because you cute? How did that work?
I don't think I ever really escaped it.
You didn't?
I was very tough.
Right.
So I had like, you know, things here and there, scuffles here and there, but I always like had my focus for school. So like even like growing up, school academics were great, stellar.
Right.
But then that other part of the report card that detailed like your behavior or whatever.
Yeah, needs improvement.
Yeah, it was always needs improvement, S, whatever it was, like an N, an S, so whatever have you.
Right.
But my grades were always good, so it didn't really matter. I mean, it mattered, but like my mom, she was like, kind of like, okay, just try to do better with such and such. Yeah.
But if you do well in school, it's like, you know, I mean, you can fix behavior, but you can't, you know.
I mean, you can fix academics too, but it's probably harder.
Either you have it or you don't. And to some degree, right?
Yeah.
To some degree, if you enjoy school, like you'll do well.
Yeah.
Or at least if you know how to pass tests.
Yeah.
Well, right?
I think I knew how to pass tests.
I know how to pass tests too. Yeah.
I mean, I've never been like straight A's throughout my whole, like here and there I have straight A's, but I was like kind of still like bordering on average, like with my grades. And then, but when it was time for like testing and stuff, I did really well.
Yeah.
Because that's when I really focused.
A mentor in the neighborhood that would look out for you? Any like guys on the block that would be like, oh, leave her alone?
I feel like everywhere I went, like I would not like attach to like a certain group of people, but like everywhere I went, there was always older people that would kind of like take that role, like leave her alone. But I think it's because they could see that I was so focused, so like mature, like just, you know, worried about what I was doing. Like I was working from 14, you know, so I was just doing my own thing.
So
I was
you were
going to
always,
school.
so you were working from 14. All right. So like what kind of jobs? Was it like?
I worked everywhere. My first job was in like a soup kitchen.
Was it?
Yeah, it was terrible. Soup kitchen, they wouldn't even let me touch the food because of the kids. Like I wasn't old enough to touch the food, so I only like prepared like the fruit and stuff, like the snacks and stuff like that. Then from there, like I worked in supermarkets, a lot of different supermarkets, and then like the jobs got better. I started working for PAL.
Okay.
You know, the association with the NYPD.
Yeah.
So I started working with them, and then each summer they had like a really good program. So like each summer I got promoted, and then like after a while I was like one of the supervisors for whatever it was. Amazing. I don't know.
So you always knew the value of hard work?
Yeah, definitely from my mom. My mom, she's a retired sergeant. Okay. And now she's like a big like balloon artist.
Oh, I
Paparazzi
love that.
Balloons, shameless plug.
Oh, wait, no, Instagram. Plug it.
Yeah, she's
this
really
episode is sponsored by Paparazzi Balloons in where?
Yeah, that's
it. In
Brooklyn? Oh, yeah, it's in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn. And we can find her on IG at
Paparazzi Balloons.
Ow. Okay.
So yeah, she's had like 5 jobs when I was growing up, so she always instilled that into me.
So that's like your inspiration.
My mom, absolutely,
that's
my
awesome.
Inspiration.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then you can also be a role model to your siblings.
Absolutely, yeah. My siblings work at my office.
Yeah, it's awesome.
During the summers when they're home from school or whenever.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so nice.
Yeah. But it was
all right.
Really
so you leave. Did you go to? So you went to Morgan?
Yeah, I went to Morgan. So I left.
So did you go straight at 16?
I went straight at 16.
Wow. How was that?
It was. I mean, people didn't really know my age until I told them. I turned 17 during the first year. So, or like I think. I started, but like right before the first year, I was 17. But people didn't know unless I told them.
Okay.
But it was great. I loved my experience, especially at a HBCU.
So you graduated at 20?
20, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't drink legally?
I couldn't drink legally.
And we don't confirm nor deny.
No, I couldn't.
Cheers.
But it was fun.
Right.
I still had a good time.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. All right, so you're in Maryland.
Yeah.
Now, did you know you wanted to be a lawyer? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, I actually chose. I had like, even though it was public school, my teachers were very serious, and I was always in the honors program.
Right.
So in 6th grade, I had a teacher who made us pick a career. And then throughout the year, we had to do all of our projects were associated with that career. Okay. So I spent that year in 6th grade, like focusing on law, did all these projects on like Thurgood Marshall and doing all my research. So then from there, in high school, I did the law program at James Madison.
Okay.
I still liked it. So then when I went to college, I still, continued to pursue it. At first, I was a philosophy major. Okay. But I didn't really like it. It wasn't very, relatable. Right. I didn't really like history. And I didn't really like where they were going with the curriculum. I'm sure it was great, but it wasn't for me. So I just switched over to political science, and I liked that more. And then, just started my journey. Yeah.
So good.
I wouldn't say, like, my school was great, but they weren't that supportive of the people who wanted to go to law school, believe it or not.
Really?
They weren't.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I feel like...
You didn't want to go to Howard?
I did. I applied to Howard. I got accepted to almost all of the HBCUs I applied to.
You don't want to do double black?
Huh?
Did you want to do double black?
Oh, to Howard Law?
Yeah,
no, I was like, I don't want to say homesick, but I was ready to come back to New York. I knew I wanted to practice in New York. So I didn't have that much guidance of like knowing people that went to Howard. And they're like, oh no, I practice in New York. So I didn't really know. I associated with like, oh, I'm going to end up in DC. And I did not want to end up in DC.
A lot of my mentors went to Howard Law. And I wanted to go, but my mom said I shouldn't do double black.
Really?
Yeah. Because I had done Hampton. She was kind of like, you should go back. And in hindsight, coming back I went to St. John's.
Oh, okay.
So it was a good move, I think, just to get me back in the you know. But at the time, I wanted to be in DC.
Yeah, I think it's a great school. I mean, obviously, did well either way, but that wasn't really the focus. I kind of didn't really. I wanted to take a year off. And I remember calling my parents like, oh, I want to take a year off. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's hard, like, finishing up the senior year and applying for law school and worrying about the LSAT and all those things. Yeah. I wanted to take a year off. They were like, no, I don't think you should.
Well, no, because once you start making a lot of money, it's kind of better. I mean, not that you were broke, but it's good to kind of just be broke.
No, I was broke.
Yeah, I was broke. I was broke until I think I made my first check. I think I might have been like 27.
Yeah, it's hard.
And my check was like $700 a week. And I was like, thought I was paid. Like I thought. I mean, I had loan money clearly, right? That all probably went to Gucci, which I regret now, right? But it's one of those things where when you don't make it, you don't know what it is,
right?
You know what I mean? And so it's like, and then you come back, you live with your parents, so you don't have the same pressures that you have if you're on your own. And but I think it was a good move. Do you think so now? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't waste any time,
right?
Because you have like a little bit of an advantage. Like even, like I left. I went to law school in New York. I went to Toro, and then I was at the DA's office, Brooklyn DA's office. Great job. But I don't think it was for me. So I had that flexibility to kind of start over.
Right.
So that's what I did. But I think if the circumstances were different, maybe if I was, 27, 28, just starting to work at the DA's office, then my perspective would have been different than me just leaving.
So what do you think what are you good at? Janai, what are you good at?
I know, right? I don't know. I think I'm, like, really good at, like, I don't know. Some people say persuasion, organization.
You seem very sweet.
Some people would say that, but I don't know. I don't think, maybe it's because, like, we're just meeting, but I don't know. Like, I feel like I feel like I am a little bit good at persuasion. Like, you kind of have to be, like, speaking to people, getting to know people, organizing different things. Like, I'm starting, even within the firm, I'm starting a new business and, like, just putting the pieces together. And then also, I feel like I'm, like, really resourceful, like, to my peers, my colleagues, my friends. I'm always, like, into meeting people. Like, even Pia, she told me about you. I hadn't even met you before, but I'm like, sure, I'll do it.
I'm so happy.
Why not?
I'm so happy you're here.
So I think I'm really good at that, like, just connecting the dots for myself and also for other people.
That's great. And were you always that resourceful in that kind of?
I think so. Like, I learned it over the years. You learn yourself as time goes on.
Yeah.
And once I see, like, what people look to me for when they have issues, even when they don't, when they need advice, different things like that.
And in your firm, just so we plug your firm.
Yes, Jackson Legal Group.
Jackson Legal Group. And you specialize in?
It's a general practice, but primarily personal injury.
Okay.
So that's car accidents, slip and falls. We do a little bit of malpractice.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's awesome. So do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy practicing law?
I enjoy working for myself.
Right.
I enjoy like
entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I enjoy being an entrepreneur first.
Right.
Being a lawyer second, I would say. Having my own firm, being able to help people. Because I did enjoy that at the DA's office. Being able to help, people that look like me.
Right.
And believe it or not, in Brooklyn, all of the accident cases, injury cases are most of the time minorities, people of color. So being able to help them through that process.
Right.
And then, they look at me and they feel like they can trust me.
Yeah.
Rather than going other places where, they kind of looked over.
Yeah.
I like being that person for people. So I really do enjoy it. But there's
awesome.
A few other things I want to do.
So it's your way to give back.
It's my way to give back.
Right.
And also support myself, support my family.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Okay. So what kind of advice would you give somebody who is trying to figure it out? You know what I mean? Because literally, you have people who are much older than you who are working 9 to 5s that they hate, and trying to figure out how to break loose.
The main thing I would say, because I would say just don't stop trying, to figure out what that area is, I guess, that makes you happy. But then I feel like there's two sides to that, because you got to make a living.
Right.
You got to support yourself. You got to support your family if you have one. So I would just say, try as much as you can to stay true to yourself and try to put yourself on that path, but don't ever stop, don't ever be afraid to be a student again. I'm an attorney. It's been going good for 5 years, but now I'm venturing into fashion design.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm speaking to people, and I don't know anything, but I'm able to tell people, I don't know. So teach me, let me know, what do I have to do? Where do I have to go? What classes do I need to take to kind of facilitate that, so I can still do, more than one thing that makes me happy. And,
No, because I was going to ask you, I guess I stopped practicing around, I must have been 30-something, probably. I don't even know if I was 30 yet. Was I even 30? I stopped practicing a long time ago. Right? And so I was going to ask you if you see yourself doing this for a long time. Do you see yourself, practicing law?
Long time for me would be another 10 years or so.
Right.
But you know how a lot of people practice law 50 years or 40 years or so? No, I don't see myself doing that. I want to set myself up in such a way where I can retire early, so to speak, and focus on other things.
Keep your firm open and just kind of hopefully run that business too?
I would keep it open depending on what kind of help I have. If it can, be on autopilot, hire a bunch of attorneys, brilliant people, obviously, that can keep it going, then I would definitely do that.
Do you hire high school interns? College or law school interns?
I do. Mm-hmm.
So everyone.
I absolutely do.
Right, yeah,
I love to teach people. I'm looking to do partner with schools.
Okay.
To get people to come in, but right now I do have 2 interns.
I've
had 3 interns so far.
Who just reached out to me, and he was saying that his daughter wants to go to law school, and she wants to come intern with me, but I don't practice law anymore.
Right.
So I'm kind of we're kind of in media now, and I have a staffing agency outside of this, but that's somewhat mundane, right? So I'm not sure that she want to be over there either. So,
but you could definitely send her
I'll
information.
send her your way, for sure, because I think you'd be a great role model for her.
Thanks.
Any other questions? What else can I ask Janai? So what do you do for fun?
Oh, what do I do for fun? I like to go out.
You do?
I like to go out with friends. I like to have a good time.
Of course.
I guess these days there's a lot of brunches. I like to do brunch. I love to travel. A lot of boozy brunches. Right, yeah. I love to travel. That's I haven't done much traveling this year in light of everything that's going on. I don't think I will be, but
COVID-19, coronavirus. Yeah.
But I love to travel.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
So in terms of considering International Women's Day or Week, we're all about this whole women supporting women thing.
Absolutely.
Any strong advice for women? considering how many, how you got to dodge dudes. And
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm sure you did a good amount of dodging.
What would I say? I would say, don't sacrifice too much.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't start taking like relationships very seriously until like I felt like I was ready, like to get into that space of like, looking for someone like to spend my future with.
Right.
But before that, I wouldn't sacrifice myself, my plans, what I was doing for anyone I was dating.
That's so smart. So you didn't let anybody sidetrack you.
Nope. Like going from state to state, no matter, what exes or who I was dating at the time. No, I just, kept with my plan. I didn't like move to Florida because some dude was like, just come now.
Yeah.
So I just would like, just don't sacrifice too much.
You took a few trips, though. You took a few trips.
I would take a trip for fun, but right. I wouldn't sacrifice too much.
No,
I wouldn't put anyone or anybody I was dating or anything like that before myself.
Right.
I guess, in some circumstances are different, like unless you feel like it's worth it, but while you're trying to figure it out, I wouldn't sacrifice too much.
No, I think
and I wouldn't settle,
right. It's smart. I think a lot of people, not just women, get sidetracked for different reasons.
Yeah.
And it's, because we can get pregnant and things can definitely, like...
Things are different for us.
Babies are a blessing.
Yes.
And they can derail you, right? And so, it's tough sometimes to stay on a straight and narrow when, So anyway, that's great advice.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Anything else, Dee? Anything else you want to say? Want to wrap and be like, hey, I don't know. So, but thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
So good. This is your first podcast.
First podcast.
Oh,
it was very comfortable.
Easy, right?
It's so cute in here. I love it.
So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I came from Brooklyn.
I mean, now if that's not dedication, we appreciate you.
No problem.
So much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's it. How many minutes are we? 21 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect for a commute home. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Unexpected Success with me, Joy. Janai joined us.
Yes.
Again, her law firm is Jackson Legal Group. Brooklynite. Loved having her on. She's amazing.
Thank you.
And Janai, keep winning.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, find us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and leave a review once you've listened. And until then, keep winning.
This podcast was brought to you by 23DB Productions, ID Productions, and One of One Productions. For more information, go to Facebook and Instagram, Unexpected Success with Joy.